The 2024 Rice Owls were, I don't know, subpar. They ended the season 4-8. They had a few wins that should make them a little bit more happy, but at the same time, well, their coach got fired. He had a bouncy career, but he had the team going decently at one point. So we're going to discuss the 2024 season and what got Mike Bloomgren fired. Sorry. And I mean, you have to remember one thing. He got to go to Lending Tree and First Responder bowls a couple years ago. Even though the Lending Tree one was he had had a losing season at that point. He came away with no winning seasons whatsoever. So yeah, not surprising that he got fired on this one, even though he had been getting him a little bit better.
Hey folks, this is Paul with Redneck Sports. I want to thank you for viewing my video, and I want to give you one thought process. There was a famous coach at the University of Tennessee by the name of General Robert Neyland. He had 6 maxims, but number 2 maxim is what everybody should apply to their life. Play for and make the breaks. When one comes your way, score. That's how to live your life right there.
Okay, let's take a look at the games they had. They started out losing to Sam Houston 34-14. They smashed the SWAC team at Texas Southern 69-7. Uh so Division 2. Houston, they got smacked down 33-7. Army beat them 37-14. Charlotte 21-20. So see, they almost won that one. UTSA, they beat 29-27. They lost to Tulane 24-10, lost to UConn 17-10, maybe 24-10 win. That was right after they fired Bloomgren, sorry. Uh Lost to Memphis 27-20, lost to UAB 40-14, and were able to beat South Florida 35-28. This was an up and down season, and yeah, there's not a lot to talk about on that one. That's just a wild season. Since they've got a new head coach in Scott Abel, we're not going to discuss the quarterback separately. Um, EJ Warner passed for 2,710 yards. He had 17 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, got sacked only 9 times. So he had an offensive line. So 17 and 10, or 17 and 13, pardon me. That's just not good. That doesn't sound like a good quarterback, period. 62% completion percentage. Leading rusher had 159 carries, 780 yards. His name's Dean Connors. Had 9 touchdowns. This guy was a workhorse for the team. Quentin Jackson next with 48 carries, 275, 1 TD. Haji Atkins, 24 carries, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns. Um, EJ Warner had 29 carries, only counted for 12 yards and 1 touchdown. Uh, on the receivers, they had a couple other touchdowns. Leading receiver was Matt Sykes, 65 receptions, 782 yards, 5 TDs. Dean Connors, 62, 45, and 2. The only other one was Elijah Majaro 22, 215, and 3. There were a few other folks that got touchdowns, but overall, if it wasn't for the interceptions, yeah, if it wasn't for the interceptions, EJ Warner would have been pretty decent quarterback for the team. Um, it looks like their offense is really something that you have to look at. If you look at his previous 2 years, he had 23, 12, and 18 and 12. So, yeah, somebody needs to teach him how to throw without getting intercepted all the time. That's the biggest problem. And they also need to rely on other running backs. They've got a somewhat decent running game, but Dean Connors is not Dylan Sampson. So, or Ashton Genty. I guess they were thinking that he was. But I mean, their offense is not horrible if you get past the point that the it's 50-50 on whether the quarterback's going to throw an interception or not. Now let's take a look at their defense. Their leading tackler had 55 tackles. Interceptions. Gabriel Taylor had 3 interceptions. So yeah, they were able to get to the quarterbacks a little bit more. Ty Morris, leading tackler, had 4 sacks. Gabriel Taylor had 3 sacks. Charlie Lewis had 3.5. Josh Percy 3.5. So Matthew Larby 3.5. So they were able to get to the quarterback. You're seeing a better team. Tyson Flowers, a safety, got 2 interceptions, and one of them he returned for a touchdown. So they've got decent numbers. 8 interceptions on the year, 1 touchdown. They've got an okay defense. They're able to get to the quarterback more. They're just needing to tackle a little bit better. With their ability to intercept, with their sacks, it shows that they've got the drive. They were able to force fumbles this year. Um, 11 of them. So they just need a little bit extra oomph put into their step. That's the best way to consider it. They're just needing a little extra oomph. And they might have a shot. They might have had a better shot. I mean, several of their past year could have been the defense could have been a little bit better. And their quarterback not getting intercepted every 5 seconds. So yeah, their defense wasn't horrible. So Scott Abel is now going to be taking over the season. They're going to be playing UConn. They're going to be playing Houston as their out of conference games. Don't know what their Division 2 team is. I'm old. I'm so old that I don't understand FCS, or I understand FCS, but and FBS, but why don't you just call them Division 2? Um, but Scott Abel is he's got a connection to Longwood. I don't know if y'all have heard my videos before, but my mother graduated from there. My baby sister went there. It's a near and dear college to my heart, and Scott Abel went there as a baseball player of all things. Um, but he ended up going into football coaching. He coached at 5 high schools here in Virginia, because that's where I'm currently at. Offensive coordinator and head coach for Washington and Lee. While he was at Washington and Lee, had a 39-24 record as a head coach. Um, Went to Davidson. went 47-28 now at Rice. Um, he went to the first. He lost in the first round of the NCAA Division three different times with Washington and Lee. Um, he lost in the first round in the Division One first FCS, and actually all or for 3 years in a row, he went to the Division One first round and lost all 3 years. Uh, Not a horrible record. He might be able to turn them into something decent. I'm not sure, you know, looking at what he's got to work with, I think the first thing he needs to concentrate on is getting a better quarterback, or at least getting his quarterback not to toss so many interceptions. And the next thing that he needs to do is work on that defense. I think those two things will probably help him out the most. But hey, this has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.
I want to thank you for watching my video. And if you like what you saw, like, subscribe, and comment. Y'all have a good day now.